all created together for everyone to enjoy. And of course, everyone should include the cranes that just arrived. So this is so awesome to see them out here today, and of course with the foliage changing. And so, we have some facts and figures to share. Most folks know about this place, but there's also some different folks that we want to thank. But everyone here deserves a thank you, even just for coming out here today to celebrate this amazing space. So first, let's give each other a round of applause. Great to see everyone. Beautiful fall afternoon. And two, we should thank, Dave Simon and his team, but our Parks and Rec director. We all know, I think this property goes back almost 50 years, 53 years. So, it's been a long time in the making. And we know, too, we've had lots of robust discussions with folks who are involved with the neighborhood around here, but also folks who are involved with open space and everything in between and ecology. And I just want to thank everyone, because I remember it was about maybe 3 years ago, Dave, maybe right before the pandemic, when there just had been a lot of false starts. And I think now we have a roadmap forward that works for everyone. And that includes the ecology and the animals and the plants that are here with us. So I want to just appreciate everyone for putting that together, because this is just the beginning of a larger path forward, which we've been looking forward to for 50 years. So anyway, Dave, Parks and Rec team, everyone who's been involved in those work groups, thank you. Round of applause. So I'm going to hand it over here to a couple of folks in just a minute, but obviously this takes all sorts of things, whether it is that community input or that professional input from our environmentalists, but also it takes funding. And so we had a lot of help funding this project from a lot of folks as well. And so some are here, so we're going to let them speak, but I just want to acknowledge a couple of folks who couldn't make it at the last minute. Senator Bill O'Neill has put heart and soul in this. I know he has a representative here, but we want to thank Senator O'Neill, as well as Councilor Benton, who also couldn't make it. It's a long-term project. Let's give them a round of applause. So by way of background, just in case not everyone totally knows everything about this, my fun fact sheet says that, of course, we had a 3-year community-driven process. That's what I was referring to. And that really started with our resource management plan back that we started in 2021. And this plan now has a bold vision to restore the traditional farmed fields to the mosaic native habitat that supports a diversity of wildlife. Now that is going to take 20 years, but we're starting it, and that is a great thing. And so it's going to make sure that we're not going to spend the 20 years after that sort of debating what we should do with this property. But there's a major emphasis that also provides for public education and passive outdoor recreation. And I think that's sort of one of the most important components, so that we can enjoy it and our families can enjoy it, but also we make sure that we protect that environment. And so we also want to make sure too that this is in some ways, a way to access things like the Bosque del Apache, but right here in the heart of Albuquerque. And so those are sort of role models. I think Valle de Oro is another good example. So the idea is that at each step along the Rio Grande, we should have a way to access this. And of course, across the river, you can't see it from here, we have the west side version at Colleen's Open Space Center and the wonderful trail program that we have out there. So this is a tremendous accomplishment for us. But I'll close my remarks by saying this right here gives us a front row seat to Mother Nature, and that's awesome for us. And you can see that on display with these amazing cranes. And I know, look, my kids are in school today and my wife's at work, but I will tell you, literally, their favorite thing is fall in the bosque and looking at the cranes. And so I'm very excited for that. But I think it's a connection from our families, all of our families, who enjoy that wonderful part of what makes our city special and unique. You really can't get this anywhere else in America. And also, for the cranes, Dave Simon tipped me off, look, it's their family too that comes 1,000 miles in some cases to be here with us for the fall and the winter in Albuquerque. So what a wonderful connection, I think, for the city at the crossroads, not only for people, but also for those cranes. So with more on this, let's start, I think, with Colleen, and then we'll we have some other folks who are going to share a few words too. So our Open Space Superintendent, such a fancy title.
It is.
I love it. Colleen McRoberts.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you all. Well, it's pretty exciting to be here. It's taken a lot of work, and we really do have a lot to celebrate and congratulate ourselves about. I kind of wanted to start off to, I think, anchor ourselves in the intent and the purpose and significance of this project. So New Mexico is indeed the land of enchantment with incredible array of diverse ecosystems. We often rank as one of the highest states for diversity of species because of our stunning terrain. Albuquerque represents this well within this state, from the unique volcanoes and basalt escarpment to the lush riparian area of the Rio Grande to the heights of the Sandia Mountains. The river system is particularly critical in our arid state. Only around 2% of our state is covered with waterways like rivers and streams and wetlands. These sparse but important areas support up to 60% of our wildlife species. That's both the residential and migrating birds. That really shows you how important these areas are, as well as all the other ecosystem services that our water supports us with that we know very well, being from New Mexico. Our city is celebrated as a migratory bird treaty city, largely because of the Rio Grande that runs through the heart of Albuquerque. And the Bosque and the Rio Grande Valley is an incredible, special place. With that being said, we are facing big challenges as a society, like every place on our planet, because of a lot of environmental stressors, especially because of climate change. And that is why projects like this are so incredibly important. We are taking traditional farm fields that have been farmed for decades and transitioning them to a mosaic habitat types that will optimize supporting many different species of wildlife, from the microbes in our soils to the coyotes that we saw here earlier, to all the bird species, our beloved sandhill cranes and songbirds, all of the animals that are dear to us, that are a part of us as we are a part of them. And what we do and learn here has implications to other projects and other places like this in the Middle Rio Grande, both for private land and, most importantly, public lands that are managed like this. So we're learning a lot from other areas like Whipville Conservation Area and Bernardo and Valle de Oro. And we learn from them, they learn from us, and then we get to share that wealth of knowledge as people want to mimic places like this in their own yards. And these wildlife viewing areas are a way for the public to observe this change over time and enjoy the wildlife from a respectable distance, so that we can enjoy this place and they can also enjoy it without being harassed. That's kind of the intent of these wildlife viewing areas. It allows an immersive public experience, and it allows them to enjoy this area also. This would not be possible without a lot of community support from our elected officials that supported this project, from the approval to the resource management plan, to funding, to our amazing partners. They are so passionate and committed to this project, to all of the volunteers that roll up their sleeves and come out here to help us. We had over 500 volunteers just last year supporting us with thousands of hours of work, and it's because of that community effort that we can actually try to realize this very bold vision, this 20-year vision of transitioning this space to wildlife habitat. I want to give a shout out specifically to a few people. Councilor Isaac Benton for instigating this community-driven planning effort that resulted in the current vision for the property. Senator O'Neill and Dugan and State Representatives Debbie Armstrong and Eleanor Chavez for supporting capital outlay funds that made it possible for us to construct this and do the future things that we're going to do. I'll talk about that in a second. Dr. Robert Stokes with the state parks, and the former Land and Water Conservation Fund liaison, Judy Kowalski, for approving the resource management plan and confirming that we are indeed in compliance with the Land and Water Conservation Fund. The Friends of Candelaria Nature Preserve, who are just doing awesome things and helping us to really do both the restoration and education here. Ciudad Soil and Water Conservation District, a phenomenal organization who helps us far and wide on our open space properties, but has really taken the helm at this property, working alongside the Rio Grande Returns to actively do the restoration. And Plan Collaborative, who designed the space that we're standing on right now. And this really looks like the design that they made, if you guys ever attended those public meetings that showed that schematic. I just want to end by telling you what's next. So we've done this, and we want to pat ourselves on the back for it, but we have a lot of things coming up. The city is working with the Middle Rio Grande Conservancy District to construct a bridge that will go across this Duranus lateral to the tree nursery tract that's just across the way there. We are also working with our Friends group to develop an interpretive signage plan, which is really important. We will be going to construction for the tree nursery tract. That will commence next year. There's still some logistics we're working out, but if you want to see what that magnificent space is going to look like in the future, check out our maps. It's going to have all sorts of amazing features, shade structures, picnic areas, a lot of little restoration areas that kind of mimic this larger effort, and seed sourcing from that property to this. And we, of course, are going to, we will continue to do work on the south tract as well, that is on the south side of the Rio Grande Nature Center. And most importantly, we will continue to work with our partners and our friends group, our community, to do research, monitoring, and restoration. We invite you all to be a part of that effort. If you're interested in a tour, if you want to bring a school group out here, if you want to roll up your sleeves and participate in the restoration, just give us a call, contact us through email, and we'll make that happen for you all. So thank you, truly from the bottom of my heart. I thank everyone who has participated in this very big project.
Thanks so much, Superintendent. And so now let's hear, we have a couple of legislators who are here who've been so supportive of this. So Senator Duhigg, you want to share a few words?
Sure, thank you, Mayor. This didn't used to be in my district, but now it is, and I am so excited to have a resource like this in District 10. Mayor, like you said, this is a front seat to Mother Nature, and having that in the middle of our city is just fantastic and amazing. So thank you all for doing all of this work, and I can't wait to see how this develops over the next 20 years.
Awesome. And Representative Chavez?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you to everyone who has brought this to life. I think that this is not in my district. I represent District 26, which sits on the west side of Albuquerque. But I can guarantee you that many of my constituents come here and bring their families, and I think that the mayor made a comment about, it's going to take 20 years, but that's really important because what we want to do is preserve it, right, for the next generations, right, our grandkids, our great-grandkids, and for all of those yet to come. So thank you all.
So I know, and I just have to appreciate it, it's really hard for legislators to give money to things outside their district. I always picked one every year when I was a senator, so we appreciate you both, but I just want to acknowledge it takes a little extra courage to explain to your constituents why their money's going somewhere else. But again, like you said, all they have to do is see this and they'll all understand. So, and critical to making this work too is our Jeannie Allen from Friends of Candelaria Nature Preserve.
Yes,
Jeannie.
I won't be quite as brief as you, but one quick thing, I was wondering if we could have a bus route, because you can get here on the bus on Rio Grande Boulevard. Maybe we could have bus route map superimposed over all the open spaces.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. So it's just lovely to see you all. What a beautiful time. The volunteer citizens group, Friends of Candelaria Nature Preserve, began with the conviction that communities can partner effectively with government for the benefit of all. I've been leading this group since it began 3 years ago, and it's been nothing short of a joy for us to work in partnership with the city and its contractors on transforming this piece of land that protects and nurtures wildlife and the human spirit. Sometimes, for reasons we don't understand, events and decisions move in a positive direction for everyone, and this time everyone includes wildlife and wild landscapes. Partnering takes people who are willing to give up some control in exchange for more strongly advancing a shared mission. A bit of a leap of faith is required too. Partners also have to respect and trust one another and to communicate well. Colleen Langan McRoberts has kept us informed, our friends group informed and in the loop throughout the long processes of making decisions about management of the CNP, and has been an exemplar of collegiality and thoughtful partnership. Ciudad Soil and Water Conservation District and Rio Grande Return staffs are absolutely marvelous, brilliant, and adventuresome, and I have the utmost respect for them all. I've worked most closely with Cameron Weber, Jacob White, Sean Ludden, Jaron Peplinski, Aaron Blas, Astrid Mooney, and Steve Glass. So it's important for me to point out, as Colleen did, that these signs at the wildlife viewing blinds are a small part of a comprehensive interpretive plan that we're developing also in partnership. There's going to be an exhibit room at the Woodward House. We're going to have the 7-acre open space area. The tours have way stations. We're going to be building way stations, interactive way stations. And I think of the fence as an interactive medium. Mm-hmm. So we're following the guidelines and the training and a template from the National Association for Interpretation and the U.S. National Park Service, which agency is known for its excellence in communicating with the public. So I would also like people to know the name of the designer for the signs here, Donna Sicklesmith Anderson. She's a world-class designer whom I know through the National Geographic Society. She's traveling and couldn't be here today. So it feels like a big, huge gift to me to be involved in this work of transforming the CNP. And I know I speak for all 100 members of our Friends group when I say that we look forward with confidence and delight to many years, I'm going to say 50, I think 50, in partnership with the city and its outstanding contractors. So thank you.
Well, I think with that, we'll conclude our remarks. Did I know Bill's okay? Bill O'Neill, did you want to say anything for him?
You all know
or?
Senator Bill
Okay,
O'Neill,
go ahead.
District 15. I'm his assistant, and of course, since he came into this area from, in 20 years ago, and he's not from New Mexico, he is technically a native. He supports this area, supports open space, supports these kind of initiatives, and have been funding you for over 20 years. And in 2024, he'll be supporting a new district, but even outside of his district, willing to support more initiatives that you bring forward.
All right, thank you.
I just wanted to give a big thank you to the neighbors who were very supportive all around, all the neighborhood associations surrounding this, Alvarado Gardens, the Rio Grande Neighborhood Association. I think it was really helpful for them initiating some of this and supporting it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, neighbors.
Community building.
So, too, and we should take a community picture.
Yes.
So we're going to do a ribbon cutting. I think the biggest area is right here. So we want to get as many people as we can. You want to do it on that end?
Yeah.
Okay. So everyone drift that way. But we'd love kind of a group picture to show that community. So unless you really don't want to be in it, come on down and be in the picture. Keep drifting. I think he wants us in that corner. Yeah, keep drifting. How you doing?
Nice work. Nice. Yeah, for sure.
I don't know what they're doing.
We'll still get the picture. And here's the ribbon.
You guys go for the picture.
I think Orlando is going to be a big part of this, buddy.
This will be a community photo for all your grandchildren and people to see. It'll be posted in the Albuquerque. You guys want to get in?
Hold on. Let's do this. We're going to use people instead of. So can you hold this? Okay. We kind of need a diagonal though. So why don't you stand follow me?
Anybody else want to be in the shot?
Okay. Who else wants it? Jump in. Come on, guys. It'll be fun for the whole family here. Okay. You guys, you want to jump in? Julia, can you get your picture?
Well, we'll do a countdown so that everybody can
Okay.
get the.
So now we do need, so it's definitely get, where's Jeannie, maybe neighborhood, come, you guys gotta help me actually cut it too. So, yes, Pauline, Senator Representative, want to come in the front? Yeah, I like these chimes. I find them soothing.
Yeah. It's just your house alarm.
So, here, but go ahead and hold on to scissors. We're going to do
Everybody
it kind of
grab
all
it.
together. Okay, now we're going to count to 3, but look at the camera, not at the scissors. Okay, 1, 2, 3.